Welcome back. This is FASA with our returning guests, Shirley, Liesl, and Rainey today. Don, let's find out what they have to say. Well, real quick, I have a question.
Okay.
Ladies, I would like to know how you feel about teachers themselves, teachers.
That was one of the points I wanted to make. We love teachers. And part of the problem with Common Core is we're not allowing the teachers to teach. I'm sure every one of us can remember some time in our school careers when a teacher made all the difference in the world to us. The teachers light the fire under children, and they see what's going on with somebody, and if I just punch this button, I'm going to be able to turn this kid on to learning. And I don't see that happening anymore because it's as you use the word rigid. It's too rigid.
It's too rigid. Teachers would like more autonomy in the classroom. I can speak for teachers because I am one. And teachers should be trusted. We're educated to teach children. We've had thorough education and learning how to do that. And we're the ones who know the children. And that's what you lose when you have some big bureaucratic system for education. That system does not know the individual child. But I know the individual child, and I teach according to that child. And you wanted to say something?
Sure. When we first started speaking out or addressing our concerns with Common Core, the education reform, the teachers in our school felt personally attacked. We explained to them that our family respects and admires teachers, but this is not allowing them to teach the way we've seen them teach in the past.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed that they've changed up a lot of basic things in history, such as they reworded the Second Amendment. Why?
Well, why do we now have a living Constitution? And we used to have the Constitution, and you went to it and you looked and it said you did this and you did that, and then that was it. And now, every time you turn around, they're interpreting the Constitution in a different way. We do have provision in our Constitution to amend it, and there's a process for that, not just by somebody saying it's different now. But I've seen in the literature, and Terrence Moore, one of the authorities, has written a book about just exactly that we're destroying our literature, we're destroying the Constitution, and they're rewriting it. And even when you get to cursive, doing away with cursive, that
I am sad about I'm sad about getting rid of cursive because it's a hands-on activity. We're getting rid of hands-on learning. And I am a big supporter. I like Finnish schools. I'm a big supporter of Montessori and Frenet, and it's very active learning. And children learn more than simply how to write cursive. What they're learning, it's cognitive processes are developed when they're learning cursive. And I'm sorry that that's gone.
This is what I've been reading is that developmental psychologists again are saying that the process of doing cursive is a brain function, and it's a good thing. The other thing is when you're asking about the Constitution, if we don't teach cursive, how are we ever going to read all these old documents if they're even allowed to still be around?
Well, and in that arena, we noticed in our fifth graders' literature book, a lot of the stories in the book were about political issues. So it wasn't necessarily, there was a story in the book about King George, and it was almost satirical. And the language they use is kind of shapes the children to believe that the people didn't like the government, that the people who spoke out against the government were bad people, and that's what we were seeing in the literature books. So I think all of this is forming the children to think a certain way about these types of issues.
To be little robots.
On that note, didn't you say you also do psychology?
Well, I'm certified to teach psychology, so I have a psychology background. Currently, I'm teaching drawing and painting.
How is this affecting,
Well, I think it's similar to No Child Left Behind. They're not bringing me students who can problem solve. They're bringing me kids who are like, okay, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? They have to be constantly directed on what to do, even in high school. And it wasn't like that when I started teaching. They were teaching me. My kids are still bright and amazing and wonderful, and I love my students. But I think that we cripple them when we make things so regimented and so defined by, instead of letting them think for themselves sometimes and discover and learn via the innate capabilities that they were born with.
And I think one article that I've read, it was about a hearing on Common Core in Wisconsin in 2013. A businesswoman really explained efficiently we believe is going on with this education reform. She said, she's a businesswoman and a CPA. She told the legislators at that hearing that the intent of the proponents of Common Core, she believes, is to change the model that we teach with, from one in which we promote thinking to one in which children are trained solely for careers to meet the needs of the industry. And that is out there. That's what people are considering is going on with this education reform.
I agree.
And there's actually evidence of that. If you look on the Kansas State Board of Education website, you can see that they've already established tracks for children for the 2015 through 2016 school year.
Is this tied into the data mining?
This is what I was going to say. That brings us around to the data collection, which is a big issue, and they are collecting data. You see it noted as 400 points of data, and you have to ask yourself, why do they need all this information? Then stop and think about your health records. And if you dovetail all this, it's a whole lot of information that they're gathering on our children. And when I was teaching, when I first started, I decided, well, we had files, paper files then on the children. And I thought, I don't want to see those till I've had these students in my class for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. And if there's a problem, I'll go back and pull that file out and see what it was. I wanted them to come in fresh and have a clean slate. I was teaching in middle school. Some of them needed a clean slate. But then if there was a problem, I'd go back and look. Well, now, some little skirmish with the teacher in 2nd grade or 3rd grade is going to follow that child maybe the rest of his life. He had an emotional problem, a minor conflict that probably shouldn't have even gone in the record, will be on there and continue on for the rest of his life. And I think that's a very real danger.
Yes, and I've even read that, and I'm sorry I can't recall where I read it, but I've even read that the teachers in the classroom, which once again respect the teachers, but what they'll be asked to do is determine from these statistics what track that child will go into. Even in grade school, these tracks begin, and the teacher, not the parents, not any parental involvement in that decision, but they will tell the child, okay, you're more suited for this subject of learning, and so it becomes then a track. They're even considering developing tracks for high schools, turning high schools into technical track schools for children. And they have online surveys in the schools right now that ask invasive, unnecessary questions about personal and family issues. For instance, they'll ask children, when you have a problem, do you feel like your parents pay attention to you? It's just very invasive personal information, that an 8-page online survey. So the children log in, their student information, and then they answer these questions. And then it goes to InBloom. Eventually, an InBloom is developed by, corporate entities that collect that data on those students, your children. They're collecting that data on your children and your families.
And one thing about Common Core that disturbs me, not there are lots of things that disturb me, but another one is that in all this collection of data, I don't know how to say this exactly, but channeling the students like that takes away the opportunity for them to, as you're saying, have some creative experience, that they'll go down some other path. I certainly didn't know, even when I graduated from high school, what I wanted to do. And if you're not exposed to different things, you're not going to get an opportunity you may have had otherwise.
Yeah,
so a more broad sampling of this and that.
Well,
let them know. You hear about doctors who get into medical school and go, oh dear, the sight of blood makes me ill, and so they go a different direction. If the government or whoever was telling them they had to do this, you're stuck with whatever channel they put you in, which doesn't seem reasonable to me.
kind of filters out.
The parent and the child and the teacher are the ones who should be determining. We need to have local control again. The parent, the child, and the teacher are the ones who should be involved in what that child.
That's another concern I have. The corporate influence. I mean, we have that because I think that's what corporations want. They want, little robots, like you said, little drones to do the work that they have in mind. Well, Common Core standards were developed by an entity called Achieve. It's comprised of corporate CEOs and state governors. The Common Core standards were mostly written by academics with ties to assessment companies. The standards have never been researched for efficacy, no trials in a single school.
No.
So, yeah, I mean,
they say they're internationally benchmarked, but where? And that's where Sandra Stosky and James Milgram objected. They were on the validation committee, and they said, we're not signing off on this, because every time they asked to see those studies, they didn't appear because they weren't there. How can you benchmark something that isn't even completed yet?
This is really untested, then, isn't it?
It's untested.
Yeah.
And yet
our children are all guinea pigs.
Entire generation.
The whole country's children. And
parents are reporting and teachers are reporting that their kids are getting sick because they're so stressed out when they do take assessments. Or principals are reporting that they don't have the computers to
they don't have the bandwidth. They don't have the computers. Right. And those computers are taking up all this time for testing. They've crashed 2 years or 3 years in a row.
Have we gone too far to stop this? Is there anything that parents who are listening to the show
I think that's a terrible excuse to continue with something that's a disaster. To say we've already spent this, we've already used this time, so now we have to use another 7 years to find out at the end of this 10-year thing, like No Child Left Behind, that it's a big failure and we have to come up with some other silver bullet.
Because didn't you say there's something called an opt-out?
Yes.
Can you explain that to me? And how that's going to affect, like, disabled?
That's a good question.
Well, maybe we'll have to address that
at a later date.
I'm not sure. The comment was made here earlier when we were getting ready that that this opt-out form could be used in a rather bad way, and that would be to let the people who would score lower on the testing to opt out and keep your brighter students in there, because the school is graded on how well the testing is, and the teachers are graded on that. So there is a hidden incentive in there. I hadn't thought about that until somebody
What a bit. Well, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back to Real People, Real Life. Right here.
Real People, Real Life is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Saving you money big time and saying thank you, Kansas, for making Credit King Auto Sales the #1 buy here, pay here dealer. #1 for sales, service selection, and customer satisfaction. Right now, our summer blowout sale is going on with, get this, 2 years of free gas only at Credit King Auto Sales at the King's Corner, 31st South and Broadway. Go CreditKing.com.
At Trailer Town, we're all about selection, service, and safety. Trailer Town Selection, hundreds to choose from, small to large, lightweight aluminum to heavy-duty steel, all types, new and used. Trailer Town Service, the best in the Midwest, from wiring to axle repair. Trailer Town Safety, yes, we do Department of Transportation inspections. Trailer Town, trusted, family-owned, 301 West 53rd Street North.
Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and the lowest prices store-wide. For all your special events, your friends at Hammond Liquor have what you need, from beer, wines, spirits, champagne, and more. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road. Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and lowest prices store-wide, wants to remind you of very important savings days. Wine Day, Tuesdays get 20% off. Beer Day, Wednesdays get 10% off. Microbrews and imports. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road.
At Economy Motors, we know that everything costs more these days. Gas costs more, utilities cost more, groceries cost more. But what's one thing that will not cost you more? Buying your next vehicle with us. Everything we have is priced $12,995 or under. Bad credit, no worries. No crazy gimmicks and no bait and switch. We keep it real. Economy Motors, home of Easy Pay. We've got your back.
Don't worry, please. back.
Knapp Weaponry is the home of Wichita's newest indoor temperature-controlled shooting range. Mention this ad for 2-for-1 pricing weekdays from noon to 4. Knapp Weaponry is an NRA Business Alliance member that offers NRA and state-certified instruction classes, training, and women's unarmed self-defense classes. We buy and sell new and used guns and offer gunsmith services. Knapp Weaponry offers a free range session with the purchase of a new gun. We also offer transfer services and an array of ammo. Knapp Weaponry, the West Side's best-kept secret.
All right, welcome back. This is Real People, Real Life. I am Joey. Before we move into our next segment of local business owner, I do want to make a couple statements about Common Core on my own. Common Core itself is big business, and my children and your children are not guinea pigs for fat cats to make more money. I don't like it. I don't care for it. That doesn't mean you have to feel the same way. Please go out and look for it yourself. Find your own research. Make your own judgment on it. I'm just giving you straightforward. I don't dig on it. But on another note, we are moving into our spotlight on local business, and we just happen to have Marlon Knapp with Knapp Weaponry as our co-host this afternoon. So, Marlon, why don't you let us, where are you? What do you guys do?
Well, we're located at 2901 West Central. That's at the corner of Central and St. Paul. That's one stoplight west of where McLean, Meridian, and Central intersect. We're open from noon to 8 weekdays, 10 to 6 on Saturday, noon to 6 on Sundays. We're a full-service gun shop. We have gunsmithing services. We have an on-site range. We offer classes.
That's an on-site air-conditioned range, is it not?
Indeed it is.
All right.
Air-conditioned.
Because you can be cool and shoot at the same time.
You can be cool. You will be cool.
Is that pistol only?
No, sir. There's no caliber restriction.
Oh, okay.
The backstop is rated to the 50 BMG. Now, if you want to shoot that, there is a $2,500 deposit for glass breakage from the concussion.
I just got a shotgun I want to try out.
Shotgun is okay with buckshot or slug only.
So tell me, if I was to come into your shop, how would it benefit me?
Well, first thing, we treat every customer as if they're our first customer, because if we don't, they very well could be our last customer.
I like that.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that we find out what you're looking for. What are your specific needs? Are you wanting for defense? Are you wanting for target shooting? Do you want to be in competitions? Do you want?
Oh my goodness!
And then we'll fit a gun to you and to your needs and within your budget.
That's excellent. So all these options are available if I come in. Do you have any self-defense classes that you currently are teaching?
We do indeed. We have the Pistol 101, first that teaches you everything from the beginning. We have the NRA courses, which are basic pistol, defense inside the home, defense outside the home, levels 1 and 2. We also have advanced pistol classes for after the concealed carry. We offer the state mandated concealed carry course, and then we have level 2 and level 3, which take you beyond what we're allowed to teach in that 9 hours.
What's the difference? I mean, it's state required for the conceal and carry. What are the extras?
The extras
are they state required?
No, they're not required. They're simply taking you to a higher level of understanding and functionality.
Awesome. So I can learn a lot there, huh?
You can, and occasionally we do offer a women's only self-defense unarmed class.
Nice.
Taught by local SWAT officers, a SWAT team leader and his right-hand man. They and myself get to be the dummies. You get to kick us, hit us, throw us, poke us in the eyes, choke us.
So tell me, if I have a beautiful bullet pattern, how do you get into the competitions?
Well, that depends on which competition you want to get into. There's IDPA, there's IPSC, there's Cowboy Action,
there's
Skeet, Trap, Sporting Clays.
Cowboy Action sounds fun.
It is.
I remember a song I heard one time.
That's not what I meant.
Right, so Marlon, we kind of know who you serve, where you're rolling. Could you describe for me your ideal client?
The ideal client comes in with an open mind. They want information. They don't want opinions, they want facts. That's what we supply. Unvarnished facts. If the gun doesn't fit that person, we're going to tell them, no, you shouldn't carry a Desert Eagle 50 caliber.
Oh, come on.
I thought everybody had one.
So, no Tech 9s.
Tech 9s are out.
No Thunderstick. So, in a beginner's class, my wife's been toying around with getting her concealed carry. What do you teach in that beginner's class that would make her feel comfortable? She's not really one who's played or been around weapons very often.
Pistol 101 is the place to start. We start with safety. Then we teach how does it work, then safety, then care and maintenance, then safety, storage in the home, safety, grip and stance, safety. Get the idea of
I
what's
like the way
really
you're going with
important.
this.
I'm totally feeling some
feel
men without
safe.
hats right now.
We spend about
Safety
an hour
days.
and a half in the classroom and then about 2 hours on the range actually shooting. Everybody, even if they're a military veteran just returning from battle, is going to start the same way. 22 caliber, one bullet at a time. They get to be Barney Fife until I'm convinced that they're competent and won't turn around and accidentally shoot me or anyone else because they're excited. I hit the target.
So number one rule, don't kill Marlin.
That is my number one rule.
I thought
is
the
to
number
go
one
home.
rule was to keep the finger off of the trigger until you're ready to shoot.
Close.
Oh,
That's
close.
number 2.
Actually, the rules are treat every gun as if they're loaded. Always, period. Unless you yourself have physically and visually checked that they're empty. 2, don't point it at anything you don't intend to destroy. Destroy is the operative word. 3, keep your finger off the trigger. Otherwise known as keep your booger hook off the bang.
Hang switch.
And 4, know your target and what's beyond it. It's not so important
Okay.
in an inside range. The target is paper. What's beyond it is meant to be shot. But out in the real world, you'll
Right,
have
there's gonna be
instances. You're at someone's
bystanders.
farm. Someone stops on a country road to target practice. A little stand of trees. What is there a house behind those trees?
You're gonna kill someone's big 500 piece of cow. Huh?
You might kill
It's
them.
happened
You
before.
might kill them.
Yeah.
Cow.
Cow's good.
It
Bacon's
is.
better.
Bacon's better.
Bacon is very good.
Bacon rocks.
Bacon rocks.
Bacon rocks.
All the time. Do you guys have ammo then, of course?
We do.
Do you have shortages of any type of ammo? Pretty well
22.
22.
22. We do have enough to supply our shooters on the range.
Yeah.
We don't have enough to sell out the door. All the other calibers are in stock and for sale out the door. Just 22, and it's a self-imposed shortage. People listen to the panic that happened with the AR-mageddon, which is our term for what happened right after the Newtown tragedy, where everyone bought every AR in existence and all the ammo. Now they're buying the 22 ammo. Typically people with extra time on their hands. They're retired. They'll go stand at Walmart, Gander, Cabela's. As soon as they get ammo in, they take it. Then they sell it at the gun shows for 3 times
Oh my
what they
goodness.
paid for it.
So that's why you're regulating it.
We call them bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Catfish.
Close.
All right.
So let me ask you something. Do you offer any kind of a special where you can come and shoot as many bullets as you want for a certain amount of price or anything like that?
Our range fee is $10 per shooter for 2 hours.
So as much ammo as you can go through in 2 hours?
Well, you'll use your gun, and you'll either bring your ammo or purchase it from us.
Okay.
But you have 2 hours.
On your range.
Now, in the class, we supply guns and ammo in that
Okay.
Pistol 101. We'll start you with the 22. As you become more competent and comfortable, we can move up caliber, 38, 9mm, 45. Again, we supply guns and ammo. It's a $75 class. Pretty cheap.
That is pretty
I
cheap.
typically just about break even.
That's for the conceal and carry?
No,
No.
that is for Pistol 101.
No.
That's just to learn what the weapon's about and what not to do.
Yeah. Don't point it at Marlon.
What not, that is
Don't
important.
point it at anything you don't intend to
That's
destroy,
right.
sir.
Exactly. You'll be
You
a
were
good
paying
student.
attention. I like that.
Absolutely. So give me a little bit of insight on what I can find when I come into your store.
You'll find handguns, knives, rifles, shotguns, ammunition, and a wealth of knowledge.
That's exactly what I like to hear. Anytime I can go somewhere and learn anything that, I wouldn't have been exposed to, long term in a short amount of time, it's always great. So what would you say if I said I was interested in a 38 snub nose?
I would ask how much experience you had first.
I hit myself in the face when I shot one once.
Well, then we might want to work on how you're shooting.
No, actually, my uncles used to take me out and shoot the small part of the 8 on license plates that they've nailed to trees. Is that safe? Technically, no, that's metal.
Yeah, it can be safe because the bullet will travel through that plate.
And it did.
But it's what's beyond that tree. Remember,
Well,
what's beyond that target.
Absolutely. So yeah, I would kind of be interested in finding out a little bit more about the classes that you have. Your conceal and carry class. Can you tell me about that?
You bet. The concealed carry class is mandated by the state, by the Attorney General's office, that we teach 8 hours of their curriculum. Our class runs from 8:15 in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening. That's 9 hours.
Every day?
No, just on Saturdays, twice a month.
Gotcha.
We teach 9 hours. We tend to put a little bit extra into the class. Our class size is nine students or less. We want everyone to get their questions answered. We want everyone to feel comfortable. In an auditorium setting, people tend to hunker down. They don't want to raise their hand. They're intimidated. They're afraid they're going to ask a stupid question. Well, there's no such thing.
Well, you're dealing with someone's life.
Right.
Whether to save your own or take the life of someone else.
I've never met a stupid question. I've met inquisitive idiots. Never a stupid question.
Every day I find something new to put back in this brain.
At the end of the course, we have a written test that's mandated by the Attorney General and a shooting qualification. You'll shoot 25 rounds at varying distance out to 10 yards. You'll shoot one-handed, you'll shoot with both hands, and you have to have a 72% hit rate within the qualification target that, again, is mandated by the Attorney General before one of the instructors, whoever taught that class, will sign off on the certificate.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us at Real People, Real Talk. I'd like to thank all of our guests, Shirley, Liesl, and Rainey, for coming in today. And, of course, our host and our Spotlight Business of the Week. So thank you. We have lots more to come. Be looking forward to all kinds of exciting things because it's coming. Thanks for watching Real People, Real Talk.
Real life. Marlon.
Real life.
The views expressed in the preceding program do not necessarily represent the views of this station or its management.
Credit King Auto Sales is getting better all the time. We're doing it better. We're doing it better all the time.
Saving you money big time and saying thank you, Kansas, for making Credit King Auto Sales the #1 buy here, pay here dealer. #1 for sales, service selection, and customer satisfaction. Right now, our summer blowout sale is going on with, get this, 2 years of free gas. Only at Credit King Auto Sales at the King's Corner, 31st South and Broadway. Go CreditKing.com.
At Trailer Town, we're all about selection, service, and safety. Trailer Town Selection, hundreds to choose from, small to large, lightweight aluminum to heavy-duty steel, all types, new and used. Trailer Town Service, the best in the Midwest, from wiring to axle repair. Trailer Town Safety, yes, we do Department of Transportation inspections. Trailer Town, trusted, family-owned, 301 West 53rd Street North.
Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and the lowest prices store-wide. For all your special events, your friends at Hammond Liquor have what you need, from beer, wines, spirits, champagne, and more. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road. Hammond Liquor, home of the coldest beer in town and lowest prices store-wide, wants to remind you of very important savings days. Wine Day, Tuesdays get 20% off. Beer Day, Wednesdays get 10% off. Microbrews and imports. Open till 8 p.m. every Sunday. Hammond Liquor, West Kellogg and Tyler Road.
At Economy Motors, we know that everything costs more these days. Gas costs more, utilities cost more, groceries cost more. But what's one thing that will not cost you more? Buying your next vehicle with us. Everything we have is priced $12,995 or under. Bad credit, no worries. No crazy gimmicks and no bait and switch. We keep it real. Economy Motors, home of Easy Pay. We've got your back.
Don't worry, please, don't worry, 'cause at Economy Motors, we got your back.
Knapp Weaponry is the home of Wichita's newest indoor temperature-controlled shooting range. Mention this ad for 2-for-1 pricing weekdays from noon to 4. Knapp Weaponry is an NRA Business Alliance member that offers NRA and state-certified instruction classes, training, and women's unarmed self-defense classes. We buy and sell new and used guns and offer gunsmith services. Knapp Weaponry offers a free range session with the purchase of a new gun. We also offer transfer services and an array of ammo. Knapp Weaponry, the West Side's best-kept secret.